Welcome to Sipple 3.1 for round 3 of Flow It So You Know It, PRI Edition. Okay, so what we're doing right now today is we're going to show you the difference between these little small filters that can go right here in your inlet line that we don't really recommend, but they are a substitute for a not necessarily cheap filter, but some type of filter. Now we're going to flow it with this in here. We're going to flow it with nothing, and then we're going to flow it with like a 8-inch canister style. So at this point, that way you can see the difference between the restrictions of these little filters that a lot of people are familiar with, the canister style, and then no filter at all, and then we'll flow it and see what kind of difference that we have between all three. Okay, so we just flowed the system without no filter. I flowed it with a -8 little filter that I've already showed you, and now I have this canister style. Now please remember, I know this seems simple, and that you would say to yourself, oh, I would be smart enough not to let that happen to me, but I can promise you I've seen this happen multiple times. And took us forever to figure it out with the customers that did it with the problems that they were having. But these filters go together only one way. You would think that it's simple, but it's not. And the car will start and run with it like this. But there's an O-ring in the bottom. You got a sealed end, then you have an open end. I had a customer one time take this thing apart and clean it, and he stuck the sealed end in like that. Taking, you know, that's the outside. And with this being the inside with the spring. How the car ran, we have no idea. But it did some really goofy stuff, and luckily it wasn't able to go down the track very fast because it would have burned everything up. These have a specific way, filtering from the outside, fresh fuel coming from the inside, as so. So, important to clean these things. But it's also equally important that when you do service them, you put the filter back together right. Not beating nobody up, just telling you that that can happen very easily. I got the little filter out. Okay, so after flowing the system 3 times, what we've come up with, so you can see the difference, no filter at all, this system flowed 14.01 gallons at 8,000 with a return flow of 4.47. So, after inserting this little booger, these little -8 filters, the system flowed 13.79, about a 2/10 difference. the big thing happened. 2/10 is a lot, but the big thing was the pressure went from 206 with no filter up to 250. Back pressure on the pump, which on a naturally aspirated deal, that's horsepower. Blower deal, it's horsepower, but it's not like it's that big a deal, but it is horsepower that we're robbing. Now, with the canister style filter, we flowed 13.85. So it didn't rob the system as much as the little bitty filter did. Fuel pressure was 240, so 10 pounds less, but still close to 34 higher than with no filter at all. So obviously we recommend filters, but people aren't aware of what's going on when they put them on. So if you got your vehicle's running good and somebody's like, oh man, you need to put a filter on that thing, or you burn a piston, or you had something getting your jets. A lot of guys don't like filters. I don't like them, but I'll run them. I do not run this style because it can get clogged up way too easy. We have a lot of area here that we can clean every weekend, and if it does get clogged up or does catch stuff, it doesn't hurt the flow as bad as some stuff getting in this little filter. So the big thing we learned is that the pressure will go way up, and there is fuel that's robbed. 2/10 can be from a happy motor to a lean motor or burning a piston. But I think it's more important that we have the filters on there to keep from stuff getting in our jets and whatnot and burning things up. So there it is, part 3 of Flow It So You Know It. If you got any questions, visit AaronSipple.com or shoot me a message and I'll do my best to answer the questions. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.